My name is Drew Jackson. I'm a biotech here at Tumacácori National Historical Park, and we are here on the Juan Bautista de Anza Trail in the mature mesquite bosque forest. We talk a lot about history and how time passes, and often we don't talk about that in the natural landscape. So it's cool to think about what this may have looked like in the past and how it's changed over time. It'd be hard to believe that maybe 40 years ago this was a farm field, and this is what it is today, filled with mature mesquite trees, hackberries, lots of vines and ground cover, and a home to lots of native wildlife, including threatened and endangered species. Kind of right when these farm fields would have gone abandoned, those first kind of very weedy species would move in, like ragweed and mustards and tumbleweed, and that kind of covers the ground, and that's the first step in kind of the reclamation of those farm fields by the native vegetation. This is an example of kind of midway in that forest succession process. You can see a lot of mesquites coming up, but they're not very big yet, which is still allowing a lot of light to hit the ground, where you see a lot of annual plants and some perennial plants filling in that space. But as those trees get bigger and shade out the ground, you'll see it change into that more mature mesquite forest. So as we get closer to the river, we start to enter the cottonwood and willow gallery forest. And this is a very rare forest type in the country because it happens in these desert areas that have a water source like the Santa Cruz River. And with drought, a lot of these water sources are drying up, and the trees don't have the water available to grow to this size. So it's a very special place and pretty rare. It's not uncommon to see cottonwood trees about this size. And people might think that a tree this size might be 100 years old, but we've seen aerial imagery of the river. In 1967, that didn't show any cottonwoods in the area. So this tree might only be 50 years old. But with access to the shallow groundwater and the sunshine here in the desert, it's not uncommon to see these trees grow massive. Can't remember where that Picard nest is, or if it just fell down. Well, mostly I'm just fascinated in how nature kind of reclaims land after humans have used it and or abused it. But I like to see that process happening, and it's really cool in this area because you can kind of see all the stages of that process. And while that happens, it's creating more habitat for wildlife, more birds, and reestablishes that native, historic kind of landscape that might have been here long ago.